All right, we are at Timber Point. I'm just using the onboard mic for this. I don't have a wireless mic attached or anything. This is one of the places I go. This is maintained by the Carson National Wildlife Refuge. You should be able to read the board that's behind you, that I'm facing. It tells you all the rules, tells you a little history about the place. You can actually pause the video right now and still look around and read that. Take your time to read that. Other than that, there's some trails up here. There's a beach here, a marsh there. The first place we're going to check out is the marsh over there. Got a whole bunch of flies out here in the marsh. So this is the marsh at the Carson Timber Point location. You're not allowed to walk on the grass, but you can go into the marsh itself, explore the channels. You can go swimming. Right now the tide is going out, so a sandbar is being exposed right now. But at high tide, the tide comes in, and this is, you can't see the sandbar. It's actually pretty deep. You can go clamming here, fishing here. I like to explore all the little tributaries. This is technically the Little Indian River, and it comes down and empties out at Goose Rocks. Timber Point is located in Biddeford on Granite Point Road, and there's a whole bunch of tributaries that are like this but narrower, that cut in and around, like a typical marsh. And so I have fun exploring it, looking for shells and weird things that have floated in from the river, from the ocean and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the marsh part. And next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the beach, which is on the other side. And I'll show you what that looks like. But you can pause the video right now and you can take a look around. And then when you're ready, you can just hit play, resume, and we'll continue on. All right, so this is the beach side of it. The marsh is over on the other side over there. The driveway to the buildings for the Carson organization or what have you. I think there's a little museum or something out there. We'll check it out. But the driveway is along this stone wall, and this is actually a peninsula. It's surrounded on all three sides of with water. On this side, on the other side where the river empties into the ocean, on this side by the ocean, and on that side by the ocean as well. The tide's going out, as I said, over at the marsh. But this is like your typical Maine little cove where you got a little boat moored out there. You got the seaweed exposed. You got a point on both sides. One side with like pine trees and things like that. Clear skies. Yeah, this is almost the quintessential New England, Maine cove. Sometimes you can almost feel like a pirate ship is going to come along the horizon there and come across the cove. But yeah, this is really nice. Again, you can pause the video and take a look around for a little bit, and then hit resume when you are ready to continue, and we'll start heading down the road to the trails. All right, so this is the road. The beginning where the sign that gave information, the information board at the beginning, is over there. We were just down there on the beach, and now we're taking the road up and around to where the trails start, right after where that stone wall ends. Pause, take a look around, and resume when you are ready. All right, so this is where the road pretty much, the driveway pretty much ends in regards to where we can go. Up that way is to all the buildings. The signpost behind you says that the trails are that way. If you look at the top part of this post, you'll see that there's also an island that's out there. And the reason I chose this time of day to show you this spot is because, technically speaking, at low tide is the only time you can walk out to that island, to Timber Island. When the tide comes in, you got to go by boat. I don't really feel like going down there and finding out if there's like a museum or anything. If you want to find out more about this place, you can always just go online. Right now, I'm just showing you a place that I hang out, where I go quite often. So I know very limited stuff about Rachel Carson. I do know how they got some of the marsh. There was a few families, mine was one of them, that donated parts of the marsh that they owned. It was my grandparents, to the Rachel Carson Wildlife Conservancy, whatever it is. But beyond that, I just know places here. I don't really know what the buildings and stuff do. But you can look that up. You can look up Rachel Carson online, and you know, maybe that'll convince you to come and check out this spot. But anyways, we're gonna follow that post, and we're gonna take the trails down that way. You can pause right now and you can take a look around, and then resume play when you're ready. Here at the start of the trails, I've never been here when the sun set, like in this part, but I'm assuming that they don't close it that often because there's some thick cobwebs on the hinges here, and if they closed this frequently, those cobwebs definitely wouldn't be there. But yeah, let's continue on. Again, you can pause if you'd like and look around and resume when you're ready. Part reminds me of those scenes in movies where they do the dolly zoom, where the object of focus stays stationary but the background around them warps out, like they did in Lord of the Rings when Frodo senses the ring wraiths coming. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pause and take a look around if you want. Hit resume play when you're ready to continue. So check this out. I saw these logs on the side here and a bench. Looks like it was handmade. And there's a little building over there. So before we continue on that way, let's go check that out. Pause, look around, resume play when you're ready. This is the inside of that building. It looks like it was a, I wouldn't say it was a boathouse, because the water doesn't come up to the back side, so there's nowhere to, maybe they stored a boat in here that they towed, but yeah, it feels old, but not like, you know, colonial days old. Don't know what this was, but this is a pretty cool, interesting little spot. And there's another little building over there that right like 10, 15 feet away, and we'll check that out. Pause to look around. Resume play when you're ready. This is pretty cool. This is the inside of the other little building that's next to the big one that we just checked out. I mean, the floor seems safe enough, but I don't necessarily want to walk around. I don't know what this was. It could have been a chicken coop, I don't know. Storage shed. People have been here, they did some graffiti. Like over there on the thing it says, "Not all who wander are lost." If you're gonna write something, which you shouldn't. My mom used to say, "Fools' names and fools' faces often appear in public places." But if you are gonna write something, don't write something as cliche as that. Some more graffiti over here. At least there's not like vulgar graffiti. It's mostly like that one says "awake." That one, "Not all who wander are lost." They're more like I wouldn't say spiritual, but you know, uplifting graffitis, which is odd, except for that skull. But yeah, a couple It gives dates of initials of people that are here: AA 2021, CK 2021, SD 2021. Some names for 2022. One of those, so and so plus so and so equals love. But yeah, pause, look around, resume play when you are ready. This is the outside of it. Looks like there's an old boat wreckage here. There's some people over there. But this is what the outside of the littler building looks like. And then you can pause, take a look around, and resume play when you're ready, and I'll show you what it looks like in between both of these structures. This is just the side that has the entrance into that little building. This is in between both of them. You can tell there's another old boat wreckage right there. Yeah, pause, look around, resume play when you're ready. So behind you, so the direction I'm facing, there's another information board there, and it says what's buzzing at Rachel Carson National Wildlife Refuge. It tells you about some of the plants and stuff. You can pause the video right now and take the time to read that. And also, while you're at it, take your time to look around and resume play when you're ready to continue. There is a little wooden structure over there, and there's a sign on it that says solitary bee habitat. That sounds interesting. I don't know what it means, but it's definitely something I'm going to be looking up and learning about when I get back to the car. But yeah, pause, look around, resume play when you're ready. Just want to take a moment of silence in just a second, so you don't have to pause the video. Hopefully this can pick up some of the sounds in this cool little area. I can't explain the smell. It smells very flowery, but there's no flowers. But yeah, so take a few seconds and just listen if you can, and take a look around. It's so peaceful. Okay, we're taking another stop for a second. There's a fork here. It says trail that way to Timber Point, but on the map it shows a loop. So it might go around and come back down this way. And there's also an arrow that says go that way. So let's take a look at the two trails. There's this one and this one. Which one looks like the trail less trodden? I'd say that way. So that's the way we're gonna go. All right. Pardon me. Well, I think it continues back that way or around that way. But here's a nice little glade with a little natural arch that goes out to the rocks. Pause to look around, resume play to continue. We'll go check that out. And here is the where it comes out to, at least for that part of it. Goose Rocks is over here. In all the years I've been coming here, I didn't realize that where we were in the marsh at the beginning of this, it's only like a couple hundred yards, and then it's all this. Like, look at the size of this beach right here. I like this, with these little branches, this little natural archway that comes out to this. This is really beautiful. Pause to look around, resume play when you're ready. How gorgeous is this? Got a little glade behind it. A little rocky walk area with a bench beneath the shade of a very old tree overlooking the ocean with the sun setting. Like, that's the oh man. One of these days I'm going to get a time lapse of the sun setting in this very spot. So be sure to check out in the time lapse playlist for that to show up. But yeah, pause to look around and resume play when you're ready. Behold, this is the isthmus that takes you out to Timber Island. When the tide comes in, you can't go out there because the water's too high. It's just not safe. But yeah, that's Timber Island right there. Now there's also historical buildings over there. I've been on that, so I'll leave that for you to discover if you ever come to Timber Point, Rachel Carson Conservancy, whatever, in Biddeford on Granite Point Road. I will let you discover the island by walking out there yourself. What we're going to do, though, because I haven't been to them before, is we're going to go check out the historical buildings over there. That'll be really interesting. And I'll leave this gem for you. Pause to look around. Resume play when you're ready. This is where the historic buildings are. I don't know how old these buildings are, but judging by the shutters and stuff, they got to be kind of old. Plus, I don't see. I guess there is kind of a driveway thing, but it's kind of creepy to know that at one point somebody was peeking out that window to see who just arrived, or maybe there was some kid looking out that window at some deer or something that happened to be roaming around in the woods here. I don't know if we can go in there. I doubt it, but I'll definitely see if that's a possibility. Plus, I want to see what it looks like on the other side. So let's continue on over that way. In the meantime, pause to look around, resume play to continue. This is the inside of what I can only assume was some type of maybe stable or barn for holding a tractor or something. We were right over there. But yeah, pause to look around, resume play to continue. So this is the side entrance to that house. I looked inside. It's there's nothing in there, but it's not in bad shape on the inside. Like, all these buildings, they're totally fixable, but they're historic buildings, so Rachel Carson maintains them. But I am really interested in the history of whatever what this was, who lived here, and things like that. I can just imagine, those two windows up there being someone's bedroom, and just they lived here. And look what it overlooks. It overlooks a private little cove. It's amazing. But anyways, pause to look around, resume play to continue. This is the view that you get from, I guess it would be the back of the house. There's some people over there. I don't want to bother them too much. But this is what whoever lived here and had these rooms, this is what they woke up to every night, every morning, and went to sleep to every night. It's absolutely stunning. Pause to look around, resume play to continue. I don't know what this was, but whatever it was, it had some type of little basement. The house is right over there. There's a little structure we're going to check out over there, and then we'll head on to something else. But pause to look around, resume play to continue. Well, turns out it's just probably an old chicken coop or rabbit hutch. Either that, it's where some poor old other guy used to live. He ain't living there now. Man. Yeah, pause to look around, resume play to continue. This is the back side of the barn thing. It's really hard to see in the windows. I tried. But look what I found here. Why don't we go in and take a look, huh? Pause to look around, resume play to continue. This looks like it must have been some type of outdoor pantry or storage place, maybe for some canned goods or something. I don't know. Can't imagine they did that in the winter though, because things would freeze, but definitely was a storage thing of some type. Pause to look around, resume play to continue. Man, this place, it's like some kind of crazy Hansel and Gretel thing. This little shack, ivy growing on the walls, little gate posts. That's amazing. Let's have a look on the inside. Pause the video to look around, resume play to continue. This is the inside of the barn shack, Hansel and Gretel looking witch's hut thing. Man, that's pretty cool. Aw, some jackass that drank a Corona and just left it up there. Oh man. Always somebody ruining a good vibe. Unless he disappeared and was never heard from again. Then that means that's interesting. All right, we're going to head back to the car now. So this wraps it up. Yeah, it's a very interesting spot. Like I said, it's Timber Point. It's maintained by Carson Wildlife Conservancy. Forget the name of it. And there's also Timber Island, which you can only access at low tide. It's got a bunch of historical buildings. They maintain the grounds. It's filled with forest and birds, chipmunks, red squirrels, bees, butterflies, all kinds of stuff. Very nice spot. So I definitely recommend that you come check this place out. You can't drive down to like the interior. You can only park at where we were at the beginning of the video. And it closes at sunset. But well, technically it closes at dusk. So I don't know if that's a specific time or not. Basically, if it's dark out, you're not supposed to be out here. But yeah, thank you for checking out some guy going to Timber Point. Make sure you check out the time-lapse playlist for any updated videos in regards to time-lapses like sunsets and things like that. And also the VR experience playlist, where I take ambiance 360 videos, where preferably if you have a VR headset, that's the best way to watch them. But it's just they're just 360 videos that capture the sounds and ambiance and vibe of locations. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.